That's right. All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High. Why Yahweh Shai? It's your brother Amath. I acquire first name. IQ is all the same, and you have now reached DSTM number 77. That's Don't Shoot the Messenger, number 77. I was alerted that the hashtag DSTM, somebody else has compromised that. I don't know who the cat is. Some other podcast man. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. The real DSTM is right here. Don't shoot the messenger. All right. Um, so when you see that hashtag, you click on it. You know what you're looking for when you see that Messengers of the Covenant um, logo. But nonetheless, man, how's everybody doing? It's Hump Day. It's Hump Day, man. We done made it halfway through. I know the ride is rough. I mean, just from the last DSTM. Uh, as I was live and we were live, for those who tuned in, Tsunami Watch was on. We had a volcanic eruption from under the water near the coast of Tonga. Tsunami warnings was on alert for us here on the west coast. So the news just keeps coming and coming. I mean, as I'm live talking, there's more happening. Hostage situation. A little bit after that, down in Texas. Just as we were talking about domestic terror on the land here in the land, and the need for military force and drills and everything else to be done on the grounds. As they keep hyping up the January 6th issue, the threat of domestic terror has now become at the forefront, along with the okra and everything else, right? So just as that storyline hits, here comes some domestic terror. Man, are we in the spirit or what? All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, man. Hopefully everybody's well, man, as you're tuning in. Let's get right to the business. Let's get right to the business. So we talked about the tsunami, right? So let's start with that. I want to give some footage. I know I'm a little late. Some of y'all probably already done seen what was happening with it, but I had some additional footage maybe I could share with brothers and sisters. It's about 6 minutes. We're gonna see um, what that looked like because I thought it was amazing. Hold on, let's share. Let me blow this up.
Check all of that out.
Let me turn this up.
Oh, fuck! Holy shit!
Yep. That was just the explosion itself from under the water. And they're hundreds and hundreds of miles away from where the actual occurrence of the volcanic eruption hit. You see how that rocked that island?
Oh, fuck! Holy shit! Fuck! Alu! Alu!
Wow. Look at the power of the Lord. I mean, that looked like a nuclear bomb didn't hit. Look at the power of our Father. Church got flooded. Church got wiped out. What was they teaching in there? Now watch this idiot right here. That's why the Most High call these damn people heathen. Water's coming this way. The other one is running. And the heathen think it's a big old game. Playing around with the power of the Lord. They getting the hell out of there. Wow. Let's pause that. Let's pause that. Let's get a scripture. Psalm 65. And let's look at this. Let's see here. Let's start at verse 5. It says, by terrible things and righteousness wilt thou answer us. Terrible things the Most High said He's going to bring in order to bring answers to us. As much as we running around trying to figure out what's going on in the earth, how come things are going so bad? What's the problem with the people? What's the problem with politicians? What's the problem with the food, with the water? Why are we having so many earthquakes? Why are the volcanoes? So forth and so on. It's all in righteousness, but the Most High said He has to do terrible things in His righteousness to answer us. Because you know what? The hard-headed, stiff-necked Negro and Hispanic and Native American will not learn unless they get bumped upside the head enough. You know, we've gotten so used to and adapting to hell. That's a gift and a curse for our people, man. We can make out of sugar, or what is it? We can make, I don't know, whatever the damn thing is. Putting lipstick on a pig, or making sh- turning into sugar. I think they call it, right. We can, in other words, we make the best of the worst, and that could be either a empowering thing or it can be crippling. Because we can get so used to being afflicted and oppressed and looking at the ignorances of our people and figure that's nothing. So the Most High has to do terrible things in order to wake us up, right? That's the only thing that gets a nigga's attention. Somebody dies, somebody gets beheaded, somebody's arms chopped off, somebody gets raped, somebody gets afflicted with a deadly disease. Oh, now you want to listen. Negro get locked up for life. Oh, now you want to listen. Now you want to seek the Most High. Now you want to pray. Most High said, hey, terrible things in righteousness will He answer us. O power of our salvation, who art the confidence of all the ends of the earth and of them that are far off upon the sea. Verse 6, which by His strength setteth fast the mountains, being girded with power. It said, by His strength, He holds these mountains together. He holds these volcanoes. He locks them down. Mount St. Helen, La Palma, and all them other ones. Most High said, man, only by my strength will these things be held back. Being girded with power. Verse 7, which stilleth the noise of the seas, the noise of their waves, and the tumult of the people. So when the Most High lets that thing go and the terrible things happen, come via the mountains, and then we start seeing the noise of the seas and the tsunamis and everything else hitting. Hey, ask Japan. Japan got hit with that tsunami back in 2010 or 2009, 2010. Tonga get hit a little bit, had a little warning over here on the West Coast. But that comes from the Most High. So when you see things like this, man, that's the power of the Most High. Terrible, in fact. You know what I'm saying? The God infect the seas. I just said. right, that's all I'm gonna play for. That's all I'm gonna play on that one. That's all I'm gonna play on that one. Okay. Let's look at this. Hold on. You know what? Stephen A. Stephen A. Smith. He got the vid. He's just now coming back. For those who don't know about Stephen A. Smith, controversial media head that you know has been accustomed to being critical of those who didn't get the poke. And he was critical of Kyrie Irving, as a matter of fact. Kyrie Irving, NBA. Here you go. Nearly 1 month after testing positive for the vid, Stephen A. returned to first take this week and revealed the frightening details of his battle with the virus. On December 21st, Smith announced to his audience that he tested positive for the vid and was experiencing mild symptoms, but he was well enough to host a full episode of First Take, including an epic rant on unjabbed NBA superstar Kyrie Irving days later. Smith's fight with the vid would take a scary turn. See, that's why you got to be quiet, Stephen A. Because you don't know how the Most High is going to deal with you. Being critical of somebody who stands on their morals or stands on their laurels in regards to what they will and won't put into their body, we are falling victim to the paradigm that they're laying out regarding this poke. When you're being utilized as a voice to try to influence and intimidate those in the sports realm, and using your voice to basically come against a brother who you supposed to be empowering and leaving alone, and should be encouraging him to continually to stand on his principles as a so-called black man who has been intimidated, who's been threatened by the establishment. You're supposed to salute that man. But no, you turn coon and you want to start criticizing Kyrie about why he didn't take the poke. And he has an obligation, and you doing all this other matter. And guess what? Your ass got hit with the vid and was down a month. See, starts off with mild symptoms. Then right after you start talking about you start talking about Kyrie, it took a scary turn. I had 103-degree fever every night, woke up with chills and in a pool of sweat, Smith described. Headaches were massive, coughing profusely, and it got to a point that right before New Year's Eve, I was in the hospital, New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. That's how I bought in the new year. Doctors told me, listen to who he listens to. Doctors told me had I not been jabbed. See, he still goes back into the same paradigm. He still goes back to putting out the same old BS. You listen to the doctors told you if you hadn't been jabbed, you wouldn't be there. Well, guess what? You was jabbed and you was still there. And you bought the lie that said that if you got jabbed, you wouldn't be in there. You bought the lie that if you got poked, you wouldn't get it. Now imagine that. You got poked and you had the same symptoms and damn near worse than somebody who didn't get poked. And the only thing that they could do to keep your confidence alive and to have you go out there and make a statement like this after the fact is that they told you if you didn't get poked, you would have been dead. With the symptoms that you had, you telling me that the poke is what saved you? Nigga, if you don't get out of here, man. Doctors told me had I not been jabbed, I wouldn't be here, Smith said. Monday, when he returned to ESPN debate show for the first time since December 21st, Smith was double jabbed against the vid, but not boosted. Oh, so it's what the problem is you didn't get boosted. You didn't get boosted, Jack. That's why you got hit like that. Look, I had pneumonia in both lungs, Smith continued. My liver was bad, and it ravaged me to the point where even now I have monitored my volume. Got to get to the gym every day, walk before you run, and work your way back because I'm still not 100% with my lungs, but I'm COVID negative. I'm on the road to recovery. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Guess what, man? You hold on. See this cat, man. Stephen A. Shame on him, man. This is the same cat, man, that said he gonna do all he can to make his boss more money. Stephen A. Got to get it together, man. Proverbs 14:15. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. I mean, this cat wasn't prudent at all. Whatever reservations and little skepticism that he had about the Pope, early off, man, he got fully convinced, and he was probably told, "Look, nigga, if you don't get this Pope, you're not gonna continue onto this network. You're gonna lose a whole lot of your following, your money, and everything else. We'll find another nigga to replace you. There's plenty of niggas willing to tap dance and show their teeth. So what you gonna do?" He went and got double poked, then messed around and got a heavy case of the vid after condemning the brother for not getting it. By the way, has anybody heard that Kyrie's gotten it? Kyrie's been jacked up? No, you haven't heard that. And he's not poked. Why is that not being promoted? Why is that not being celebrated? Why is that not being applauded to say, hey, this brother still stood on his ground. Now the NBA, his team is backing down and allowing him to play. And they're even looking at trying to see if he can play in New York where they're supposed to be banning you. See how that works? You stand on your faith, man, they're going to have to start bowing down. That's why we see it now. All of a sudden, with the whole Supreme Court ruling and OSHA saying, and slow Biden's mandate got rejected now. We stand on our faith, man. We got victories. We gonna win. The Most High said, man, that it's impossible to please Him without faith, and He's a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. Let's get that. Hebrews 11. Look, but without faith, it is impossible to please Him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. Diligently. See what happens? The rewards is there. Most High said, man, I give you the rewards, but you have to diligently seek me. So far, hey, Kyrie's been okay. But everybody that's been hating, everybody that was talking crazy, they're all out there testing positive. They're all quarantining. They're missing games. Stephen A. done got smoked for a month. So my advice, hey, shut up. Leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and imagine the fact that you've messed around and lost. Lost out on the fact that maybe you may have, been wrong about what was going on. You feel me? Okay. So let's move on. Let's move on. All right. Look what's going on in Hawaii now. Hawaii, they're set now to require travelers, they have to have a booster in order to enter Hawaii. You heard that right. You heard that right. So much for your travel plans to, take that vacation in Honolulu, in Oahu, and Maui. No, no, not if you're not fully poked. If you're not fully in compliance. See, we've covered it 1,000,001 times, man. Second Ezra 15, a man designed to go into a city and not being able. We're looking at the stages of, New World Order, full control, full dominance in regards to travel, eating, drink, so forth, all of that. Hawaii now is saying you have to have, if you're a traveler and you planning on coming to that island or any of the islands, you have to be fully poked, including a booster. Look at that. Governor David Idge said the new rule will not go into effect for at least 2 weeks. Hawaii will likely require visitors to the state to have received a vid jab booster if they want to skip quarantine. Currently, under the rules of the state Safe Travels program, travelers who don't want to quarantine for 5 days must either be fully jabbed, meaning 2 doses of the Pfizer, BioNTech, or Moderna jab, or 1 shot of J&J, or a negative vid test within 1 day of travel. Listen, the fact alone that if you don't comply, you have to add 5 days onto your vacation plans because you're going to quarantine as soon as you get there. They're throwing you into a quarantine zone for 5 days. testing you, and if you're negative, then you can come out and play. Only then. Other than that, get your booster. So the oppression continues. Okay? Oppression continues. Let's move on. What's going on in Australia? We've seen in New York. We've seen in New Jersey. Now, what's happening in Australia? Oh, hold on. What happened? Look at this. Australia suffers the deadliest day of the pandemic as okra dries up hospital cases. Hold on. As last I remember, Australia was one of the more heavier oppressive countries to dwell in when it came down to this whole thing, man. They've had lockdowns, they've been in quarantine, they've had martial law instituted over there, they've had stadiums opened up for damn near kidnapping kids. You drop off the kids, they have to get poked in order to go to school. They can't graduate and can't get no paperwork unless they get poked. Y'all remember that? So you talking about a country that has been damn near fully compliant. Yeah, they've had, their revolts and their uproars of the people out there, but the majority of the country is poked and ready to rock. Why are we seeing a deadliest day? Didn't we just read that in New York? Deadliest day since the pandemic and the jabs was introduced. Seen it in New Jersey. Now we're seeing it in Australia. I mean, this is happening all over the place, and there's one common ground, and y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Australia suffering its deadliest day of the pandemic, and they're saying, "Oh, it's because of the okra." E- Every time we keep reading about the okra, oh, it's less mild, no real symptoms. Yes, it may spread fast, but we're not hearing anything about death. We're not hearing anything about severe symptoms. We're not hearing anything that is involving this thing being worse than it is. All case scenarios say that it's mild, but now they're trying to squeeze us in into now it's deadly because the okra's driving up hospital cases. Get out of here. This is more BS. Okay, look at this. Australia on Tuesday suffered its deadliest day of the pandemic as a fast moving okra outbreak continued to push up hospitalization rates to record levels, even as daily infections ease slightly. Australia is dealing with the worst vid outbreak fueled by the okra variant of the vid that has put more people in hospitals and intensive care than at any time during the pandemic. See, the thing is this: the people that are getting the okra are the people that are getting jabbed, and because they're jabbed, their immune systems have gotten weaker. We just got to reading that report in the last DSTM where they were concerned about over jabbing, and they were saying that they did the study out of the EU. They were saying that if you boost too much, you risk damaging the immune system. So here we are seeing people that all these people getting poked up. Now they get hit with the okra. Now they getting sick as hell and more sicker than somebody who hadn't gotten poked who fights it off like a normal cold. Imagine that. Okay. So let's move on. Australia is dealing with the worst vid outbreak fueled by the okra variant of the virus that has put more people in the hospital. We read that. A total of 74 deaths were registered by late morning between New South Wales, Victoria, and Queensland, Australia's three most populous states, exceeding the previous national high of 57 last Thursday, official data showed. Today is a very difficult day for our state, New South Wales Premier Dominic Perrottet said during a media briefing as the state reported 36 deaths, a new pandemic high. See, y'all know what time it is. Look, and they always throw this in there. Authorities have said unjabbed younger people form a significant number of the country's hospital admissions. I doubt that, but that's the story, and they're sticking to it, as they say. So look at this. Told y'all, man, this thing don't stop. Don't stop. Who they look for all the time to get their data from? Who's the beta test? Who's the ones that's out there dictating policy? I mean, if you look at all of the key players involved with this whole thing, from the heads of these pharmaceutical companies, media outlets, and all this other stuff, they're all Revelation 2 and 9, 3 and 9 cats. All of them. There's a I don't know if it's a TikTok video, YouTube video, something going around that's showing all the key players and showing all of their nationalities. And they're all Revelation 2 and 9s. All of them. And then they're looking at them as the test dummies to see what's going on. So what are they doing over there in our homeland? Hospital releases preliminary data without specific figures. Israeli trial, world's first, finds a fourth dose is not good enough against the okra. See, that's how they got everybody on them cycles of therapeutics. You're getting poked up once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. That ain't enough. You need more. As bodies keep dropping all over the place, people keep getting sick. They're all jacked up. And they keep saying, this thing right here, Omegatron, Okratron, whatever you want to call it, is light symptoms. So what you need a whole nother boost for? Come on now. Something going on. Y'all know. Look, four doses ain't good enough. They want 5, 6. Expert at Sheba Medical Center says jab raises vid antibody levels, but there are still a lot of infections among those who received it. Oh, among those who what? Received it. Still a lot of infections among those who received it. Need I continue? Need I say more? Huh? Okay. Nearly a month after Sheba Medical Center launched a landmark study to test the efficacy of a fourth vid shot, the hospital said Monday that this fourth booster was only partially effective in protecting against the okra strand. The vaccine was very effective against the previous strains, is less effective against the okra strain. Professor Jilly Rejev Yoke, a lead researcher in experiment, said, we see an increase in antibodies higher than after the third dose, uh, Regev Yoke said. However, we see many infected with the okra who received the fourth dose. Granted, a bit less than in the control group, but still a lot of infections. The bottom line is that the jab is excellent against the alpha and the delta. For okra, it's not good enough. So what's their solution? More jabs. And guess what? The CEO of Pfizer said we'll have it ready by the spring. Isn't that convenient? They already knew it's going to be needed. Unbelievable. On the Russia front, told you I'm gonna keep y'all updated on that warfare. Look, the coming storm. Russian invasion of the Ukraine is uh oh, You read it. It's coming sooner or later. Time to make sure that we're on the right hand side of the Most High, because who knows where this thing can go. But we do know warfare is upon us. Look, they're giving out all the stats: 25 warships, 285 aircraft, 2,400 tanks, 255,000 troops on the Ukraine side with no nukes. Russia got 1,000,000 troops, 13,000 tanks, 4,100 aircraft, 600 warships, over 6,000 nukes. Ukraine don't stand a chance. That's why NATO, the EU, is intervening in America, balance out the scales. So, coming storm. Russian invasion of the Ukraine is, quote, inevitable and imminent, warns MP as Kiev blames Putin for a cyber attack amid World War III fears. What are we talking about? Third woes? Huh? See. And they talking about the Israelites is in the cult and we crazy. Here we go. A Russian invasion of the Ukraine is feared to be inevitable and imminent as Kiev blamed Vladimir Putin for a massive cyber attack. Remember the cyber attack that we just talked about last episode 76 that they had cyber attack on the Ukraine, right? House of Commons Defense Committee Chairman Tobias Elwood MP issued the warning as fears of a new war loom over Eastern Europe. The eyes of the world are on Ukraine as Putin has amassed nearly 100,000 troops, along with the arsenal of artillery and tanks in the region. It is feared Vlad could launch a full-scale invasion in a matter of weeks, or even days, to seize territory given up by Russia in the fall of the Soviet Union. That's how close we are to World War III. Weeks or days. And guess what? This is what's going on. And look at this.
Every
This is what
37
niggas worry
seconds,
about.
someone is arrested for possession of every 37 seconds.
This is what a niggas worried about. This brother right here is running. He's a Democrat out of Louisiana. Gary Chambers. He's running for U.S. Senate in Louisiana. We're on the brink of World War III, and this nigga got the nerve. The only thing that he's holding up his campaign is because of minor offenses for weed. And in his promotional campaign, his well earned or his ill gotten money for his campaign is smoke weed, smoke weed, and promote his campaign and talk about the figures about how you know Louisiana law is locking up Jakes for small amounts of weed. And we're on the verge of World War III. And this is what the niggas concerned about. Well, look at this.
Every 37 seconds, someone is arrested for possession of marijuana. Since 2010, state and local police have arrested an estimated 7.3 million Americans for violating marijuana laws, over half of all drug arrests. Black people are 4 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana laws than white people. States waste $3.7 billion enforcing marijuana laws every year. Most of the people police are arresting aren't dealers, but rather people with small amounts of pot, just like me. I'm Gary Chambers, and I'm running for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. Every 37 seconds.
Gary Chambers. There he goes. And meanwhile, we got this going on. And Gary Chambers is talking about he got a little bit of weed on him. And he's worried about, he needs to run for Senate so that niggas can be liberated and smoke weed all day. Can you imagine? I mean, are we in the Twilight Zone or what? What is wrong with this Negro? All this mad is going on in the world, man, and he's out here campaigning. No, we don't have no problem with black on black crime. We don't have no problem with niggas out here killing each other. We ain't got no problem with them jakes being hooked on lean and weed and heroin and everything else. There's no problems with that. There's no problem with the economy. We don't need to get these sisters off of these stripper poles and get them back into educated fields where they can pick up trades and take care of their households and do what they need to do. I mean, Gary, there's no concern there, huh? See, this is the foolishness, man. This is the foolishness. Okay, so we see here, man, war could be happening in a matter of weeks or even days. They're saying it's inevitable and imminent. There's no questions no more. There's no more talks. There's no more negotiations. There's no more peace treaties. There's no more none of that. It's going down, according to all the experts. And according to the words coming from those who's involved. All right. While we're continually talking about war, drone attack that happened over in Iran, in Pakistan. Look at this: 3 dead and 6 wounded in a drone attack on Abu Dhabi carried out by Iran-backed Houthi rebels. Fire breaks out at international airport and oil tankers explode at the petrol storage facility. So not only have they hit a valuable resource that's going to drive up gas prices and oil prices, but there's still war going on that ain't nobody even considering. This is what we're talking about: wars and rumors of war. It's all over the place. I just covered the one they just did a drone strike and killed 56 people over there in Ethiopia. It's all over the world. Police said a fire broke out at an extension of Abu Dhabi's main international airport. Three tanker trucks had exploded near storage facilities of oil company. One Pakistani and two Indians were killed after the fuel trucks exploded. Police said preliminary investigations indicated the detection of small flying objects possibly belonging to drones. Three people have been killed. Listen, this is just the point. This is the point to prove, man. It's a complete madness going on in the world. Here it goes. You see the pictures. Three people killed in Abu Dhabi, six wounded. Iran-backed rebels did a drone attack, deliberately blowing up an oil refinery. See, but we got drone attacks. We got World War III on the horizon. Volcanoes and tsunamis hitting all over the place, and you got a Negro campaigning for more weed. Unbelievable. You know. You want to know what the evil is? You want to know where it begins? You know the old saying: follow the money. Follow the money. World's 10 richest men have more than doubled their fortunes from 500 billion euros to 1.1 trillion euros during the pandemic. So then you wonder what, when, where, why, and how could this have been a pandemic when you start seeing that people actually have profiteered off of tragedy or off of a pandemic or off of some sort of emergency. You follow? This is supposed to be some catastrophic event that has rocked the world. Nobody's supposed to be out here profiteering. Oh, but no, no. We've got uh we've got the same elite, 1% that's out here profiteering. You understand? So look at this. Oxfam found that the men's wealth increased at an average of a rate of 1 billion euros a day. Among the world's 10 richest men are Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jeff Bezos. Oxfam and said the billionaire's wealth rose more during the pandemic than it did the previous 14 years. All of them profiteered off of it. This cat was out here manipulating Dogecoin and stocks and all of that, making all kind of promises. Tesla driving prices up. This cat monopolized off of Instagram, Facebook, the metaverse, all of that. He profited. This cat cornered the market. All the small businesses and everything else struggling to get goods and services out. Amazon rose to the occasion and was pretty much facilitating everything and anything people wanted and needed. They make money off of this, while the rest suffer, while the rest struggle. You know. So we're seeing the rich get richer, man, even in tragedy. And this is their attitude. Let me see, Job 21. And mm, let's look at it. Job 21 and 13. It says, they spend their days in wealth and in a moment go down to the grave. Therefore, they say unto the Most High, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. What is the Almighty that we should serve him? See, that's the vanity of the so-called white man. That's the hubris of the so-called white man. He don't give a damn about the Most High. He don't care about the children of Israel. That's why you see everything being done to us in such heinous and malicious ways. All he cares about it is money. And he's implanted that thought into our people's minds, believing and thinking that that is their salvation. That is their way of Valhalla. That's the way to, their peace of mind is to get a little bit of money. Well, for you hip hop heads, remember what Biggie said, more money, more problems, especially for you Negroes and Hispanics and Native Americans. More rappers get killed in their own neighborhoods trying to quote unquote keep it real. IRS come back and get you niggas all the damn time because you got bad accountants and Edomites and all them stealing your money, not paying your bills, not reporting income. Next thing you know, boom, you up out of there because you got somebody ill advising you about your taxes. Ask Lauren Hill, ask Wesley Snipes, ask Fat Joe, ask Ja Rule. The list goes on. But then you ask a Martha Stewart who got some insider trading information. She goes into a damn I think she did a year or less than a year at a country club, celebrity penitentiary, comes out, gets more famous. See how that works? They spend their days in wealth and in a moment go down to the grave because their ultimate destruction is going to be upon them because they trust in money. Yahweh told us don't trust in money, don't trust in money and treasures on earth where dust and mouth doth corrupt. We don't do that. Because what happens? They get the money, and then guess what? The Most High takes a back seat. You start watching any of these little award shows and all that other stuff, man. They less and less now you start seeing Negroes, and I barely watch them anymore. Less and less you start seeing our people even thanking the Most High. First thing they come up, I want to thank my mama. I want to thank my manager. I want to thank my agent. I want to thank all the people that helped me with the Oh, and always remember, God be the glory. Nigga, get out of here. Most High always taking the back seat as soon as some money comes into play because you learn the ways of your oppressor. See, and the rich only get richer, man. Lo, their good is not in their hand. The counsel of the wicked is far from me. That's right. We're supposed to keep it far from us. But guess what our people do? Guess what our people do? Let's look at this. Oops. Okay. Most High told us to do this. What? Envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. We're not supposed to be envying the so-called white man and his ability to gain wealth and multiply wealth in the times of our evils. Yeah, a lot of our people was able to make more successful runs and get more entrepreneurial and get more into tech and all this other stuff, man. A lot of our people did prosper during this downtime. But guess what? A lot of them was out here scheming with PPP loans and doing all kind of EDD scams and all of the acronym hustles. And now that money's running dry. Now you see niggas out here running through these streets, robbing, killing, and stealing everything that's moving because guess what? They got nothing else. All them little scams done dried up. You got remember I covered the story when it said that there was 1,000 women that went to audition for the strip club in Vegas. They said they had to shut it down because they thought they was going to have another Astro World Travis Scott incident, and they didn't want heels breaking and women falling and getting trampled on because they were so quick to prostitute themselves at the strip club. See, if they ain't on a strip club, they jumping on the OnlyFans and doing all. I mean, this is what's going on. Why? Because they're out there chasing the money. Because why? The so-called white man says that money is the way to success. Money is the way to salvation. Money is the way to how you're going to get peace. Money is going to be everything for you. But guess what? Most I said all those are good money, man. They go down to the grave quickly. So because we see the world's elite getting money, don't think that it's always made for you too. Proverbs 3:31 tells it, envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways, man. Look at our oppressor. How did he obtain this place? Through lying, stealing, killing, false peace treaties, kidnap, rape, murder. That's how he obtained power. And what do? We emulate the same, but we do it to our own. Most I said, don't choose none of his ways. But we see it here. The world's wealthiest continue to get richer. All right. We talked about this. Talked about this at the beginning. The Texas rabbi. Oh, they had a terrorist attack, domestic terror. You know, Ishmaelite cat man ran up in the synagogue while they was having Shabbat. They ended up killing him. Let the people go. I'm sure y'all heard about this, but it's only par for the course, man. They're setting the stage. They already gave us a tip. They already said, "Hey, domestic terror." Slow Biden came out and made the speech talking about how domestic terrorists was going to be the biggest threat to America now. Oh, it's not Russia. Oh, it's not the third. It's not China and all that. Oh, it's domestic terror. Urban warfare drills being done here on the understands. We've seen the drills being done over there in the Carolinas for 2 weeks. Now all of a sudden, boop, here comes some cat man happens to run up in a synagogue. Nobody dies but him, you know. So you do the math on that. Another thing going on with the tech, man. Kazakhstan's internet shutdown. See, we talked about what the the global hack attacks that could be happening, the cyber attacks. We talked about the cyber polygon. It's more going on, more things happening. See, Kazakhstan's internet shutdown takes out 18% of the global Bitcoin production and sends the value of cryptocurrency plummeting by 8% as Russia deploys troops to crush the protests. See, remember in Kazakhstan, they was having them riots over there, man. They was talking about police was getting beheaded. The Kazakhstan president came out and said, man, shoot to kill, shoot without warning. Then they messed around and shut the internet down, jacked up the Bitcoin. That's why the tech thieves, man, they go up in there, man. They shut off the Bitcoin, drive the price down. Then they're gonna come in, and force people to sell. They're gonna say, man, I'm not messing with this crap. Then they come in and buy it up pennies on the dollar, raise the price up, man, boot everybody up out of there. But that's why you can't have no faith in none of this crap, man. Manipulating markets, you know. We're playing a game, man, where the game is rigged, man. And Esau's got the controls. He states the rule books and all of this crap. We be just trying to figure out, man, how can I get a little piece? Hey, man, that piece might be poisoned, but we got to figure this thing out. But you see here, just how fast the cyber attacks can happen. They can kill the internet. They can cut off all currency. Ask Kazakhstan. We see what happened with them. You understand? So the Bitcoin price slumped to lows not seen since September amid internet blackouts and crisis hit Kazakhstan. So because Bitcoin is a global digital currency, what happens in one particular country can affect everybody that's invested in it. World's most used cryptocurrency lost as much as 8% of value and tumbled to under 41,000. Investors dumped their crypto coins, spurred on by events in the Central Asian nation, the second biggest Bitcoin miner after the U.S. China banned crypto mining due to a huge amount of energy it uses. Crypto mining is said to use 8% of Kazakhstan's total generation capacity. Mining in Kazakhstan is mostly powered by coal mines, creating a headache for the government. So we see how that also is a political move because of why the power that it takes, headache for the government. So what do? They shut off the internet, stage riots, people getting killed, drive down the price, frustrate people from even investing into this, and they manipulate the whole market. A lot of folly going on with that. A lot of folly going on with that. Well, look, y'all, this was it, man. DSTM number 77. I didn't even scroll it down there for y'all. But you see what it is. If anybody looks to contact us, man, reach out to us. Messengers of the Covenant. Email us thecovenant144@gmail.com if you wish to send your alms and your donations to help us further the work of the Lord. The Cash App is $ IQ Amath. I give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, man. Appreciate y'all for checking in. It's Hump Day. We made it. Got a couple more days to go, man. I pray everybody's well, everybody's safe and healthy. And always remember, fear the Most High, keep the commandments, and don't ever shoot the messenger. Shalom.